Good afternoon, students. So I'm going to continue on my research project of Star Trek literature and science fiction literature around the world. So I started this project by asking myself the research question, is there more to science fiction than just Star Trek, Star Wars, and Asimov? And so I've only been familiar with American science fiction. So whenever you start a research project, you always ask yourself a research question, and then you conduct a literature review in order to answer that research question. So my research question was, is there science fiction around the world? Does each country, region have its own science fiction based on its culture and its traditions, based on its fears and aspirations? And to my delight, I found out that there's more to science fiction than Star Trek, even though I'm such a Trekkie. So the fun of doing research is always you get to find more material and you get to find more exciting facts about your topic, and you get to answer your research question, because the answer to your research question becomes your thesis statement. And so my thesis statement is that literature, science fiction around the world differs based on a country's culture, region, fears and aspirations, and traditions. And I've so far analyzed and gone over Asian American, African American, African science fiction, South American science fiction, actually not South American, Latin American science fiction. I haven't yet done South American, and Chinese science fiction. And I find that each region has its own fascinating library of science fiction. And when I was going over China, I found out that Liu Cixin is a top science fiction writer for Chinese science fiction. And so so today's video is going to go over one of Liu Cixin's novels called Ball Lightning. And so what would you do if you could harness the power of nature? Would you use that power to create a weapon, or would you use it to make sustainable energy for the greater good? Humanity has the choice whether they want to use their technology for good or for bad. And so depending on how humanity decides how to harness the power of nature and how to ethically use technology, that will decide the fate of humanity. And so today's lecture will talk about technology gone awry. And in the book, Ball Lightning, by Liu Cixin, this book also analyzes and goes over the ethical implications of using technology, or using the energy, the immense energy of lightning, either to create a lightning gun in which one can attack one's enemy, and or use the harnessed the power of lightning in order to create an endless source of electricity for people. And so it depends on the individual, it depends on humanity to decide how best to use their technology. And so the reason why I'm doing this series of episodes of sci-fi is I want to get my students to learn to love reading, learn to love literature, and to see literature as a way to escape reality, and to think of all these what-if questions. And also, the more you read, the better you write. And the more you write, the better your vocabulary becomes. And so these days, not enough people read. And so for me, reading has been one of the greatest pleasures in my life. So I want to share with my students my love of reading, and in this case, my love of science fiction. And so today's lecture will go over Ball Lightning by Liu Cixin. And without further ado, I will share my screen and go over today's lecture. But it is my sincere hope that my students, after watching this series, will develop a love for reading. So this is the terrific, immense power of lightning. Lightning is so powerful that it can go right through, at least ball lightning can go right through titanium and incinerate the people and things inside and turn it to ashes. How can we harness such a force of nature? And what happens when scientists decide to use this kind of technology? Then this technology goes out of control. What happens when technology runs amok? Imagine if you unleashed a technology that spiraled out of control. Picture this, a lightning weapon so insanely powerful that it can zap through the toughest titanium walls and reduce people to ashes in an instant. Now suppose the scientists behind this lethal weapon lost control of it. Can you fathom the chaos that would ensue in society? Should we as a species tap into the mind-blowing potential of harnessing lightning to create weapons of mass destruction? Or should we instead harness the incredible power of nature to generate clean energy that can benefit all of humanity? These mind-bending questions are at the heart of Cixin Liu's mind-blowing book, Ball Lightning. Ball Lightning is a science fiction novel written by Liu Cixin, a renowned Chinese author, sci-fi author, known for his highly imaginative and thought-provoking works. The novel was originally published in 2005 and translated into English by Joel Martinson in 2018. This science fiction novel chronicles the life of Chen, a young man whose parents are killed during a mysterious ball lightning event. This tragedy propels Chen on a quest to understand and control the enigmatic phenomenon of ball lightning, leading him to become a physicist and dedicating his life to studying lightning. The novel delves into themes of science, technology, and their potential impact on human society, earning praise for its imaginative and thought-provoking ideas and captivating storytelling, which explores various scientific themes and concepts related to the intriguing phenomenon of ball lightning. Other themes in this novel include the intricate world of quantum entanglement, drawing upon principles from physics and electromagnetism, and ways in which scientists can harness this energy from ball lightning. This book also examines plasma physics, magnetic fields, and energy transfers as key elements in explaining the underlying mechanisms of ball lightning. But most importantly, ball lightning explores the darker side of this phenomenon, envisioning its potential militarization and the development of advanced weaponry utilizing the unique properties of ball lightning and its destructive capabilities. So this is the actual book cover for Ball Lightning. So Ball Lightning by Cixin Liu is a science fiction novel that explores a number of themes: the power of science and technology, the power of obsession, the dangers of weaponizing science, the importance of family and love, the responsibility of the creators of technology for public safety. The novel tells the story of Chen, whose parents are killed by a mysterious ball lightning event. Chen becomes obsessed with understanding and controlling ball lightning, and his quest leads him to become a weapons designer. Chen's work eventually leads into the development of a new weapon that is so powerful that it could destroy the world. And so this novel, Ball Lightning, will be made into a movie in 2024 or 2025. And the upcoming adaptation of Ball Lightning will premiere on I don't know how to say that word, QIYI, one of China's major online streaming platforms, as part of their drama lineup. So getting back to, the story of Chen, the main the main protagonist, whose parents were incinerated by lightning, and then he becomes, all his life, he goes on a quest to understand the ball lightning and to control it. And because after witnessing such a family tragedy, he saw his parents incinerated by a ball of lightning right in front of his eyes. The ball of lightning came through the walls of his house, and then where his parents didn't even have a second to act, and then the ball of lightning went right through his parents, incinerated them into ashes, right in front of Chen, who was a little boy at the time. So for the rest of Chen's life, he devotes his life to studying how ball lightning works, and then working to harness that energy to make it into a weapon. Ball lightning refers to the rare occurrence of glowing spherical objects that appear during thunderstorms and displays extraordinary properties such as floating, exploding, and passing through solid objects. Driven by his curiosity, Chen devotes his life to studying ball lightning, becoming a talented researcher in the field of plasma physics. He teams up with a brilliant scientist named Lin Yun, who shares his passion and understanding and vision for understanding lightning. This research takes them on a journey through various scientific theories and experiments, delving into the realms of quantum mechanics, military applications, and even extraterrestrial encounters. Chen and Lin Yun's relentless pursuit of knowledge pushes the boundaries of human understanding, but it also leads them into dangerous and ethically complex situations. As the story unfolds, Cixin Liu's Ball of Lightning novel explores the implications of advanced scientific discoveries and the moral dilemmas that arise from them. Liu Cixin skillfully weaves together science, technology, and human drama, presenting a captivating narrative that questions the limits of scientific progress and the consequences it may have for humanity. If you like complicated scientific concepts, you will like this book. Liu Cixin is great at combining scientific facts with fiction and fantasy. In real life, scientists have created lightning in their laboratories, but have never been able to fully control its energy output to put it to any good use. Tesla has tried to create lightning balls in its lab, but only ended up with small balls of lightning, just like this picture, but has never been able to create an electric lightning ball ray gun or anything else for that matter, because the energy in the lightning is just too unstable. So here's a little background if you're really into the science, because the first 200 pages of this novel just delves into the scientific, all the scientific theories about what makes lightning work, how lightning, occurs. So the emission and intensity and wavelength of a natural ball lightning, so all of these numbers. So a little background on the actual study of ball lightning. Scientists in China discovered something very special in 2012. They were studying lightning that happens in the sky when it meets the ground, and by chance they captured a different kind of lightning called ball lightning. They recorded it using special cameras that took pictures really fast. The ball lightning lasted for about 1.64 seconds, and they saw that the ball lightning can move horizontally across the screen. The ball lightning is about 5 meters in diameter and travels about 15 meters in 5 seconds. The scientists also noticed that the light from the ball lightning changed in a pattern, getting brighter and then dimmer over and over again. They think this might be because of the electricity in the area. Scientists also discovered that the ball lightning was cooler than regular lightning. They believe that the ball lightning might have been caused by the ground turning into a gas and the electricity in the air. It's still a bit of a mystery, but these scientists are helping us understand more about this amazing phenomenon. And so this is ball lightning as it hits a house. And so these pictures are generated by Bing AI, in which I put in ball of lightning hitting a house. And so this is what ball lightning looks like. These pictures don't occur inside the book. Liu Cixin skillfully weaves together the real-world science behind lightning with his captivating science fiction narrative, centered around Chen's personal journey to unravel the mystery of lightning that tragically claimed his parents' lives. Furthermore, Liu delves into Chen's ill-fated attempt to weaponize ball lightning for national defense, resulting in unintended circumstances, such as the accidental loss of innocent lives and the widespread power outage in the neighboring county. And so these experiments on ball lightning raises thought-provoking ethical questions. Should we exploit the inherent powers of nature to inflict harm upon others? Ultimately, could we harness these forces to generate clean and sustainable energy for the betterment of society? Or could these forces of nature be employed as destructive weapons against adversaries? Within this novel, the author explores both possibilities, leaving us to ponder the potential outcomes of humanity's choices of technology. The story structure of Ball Lightning follows a traditional narrative arc for a Chinese story, wherein in a Chinese story structure is heavy on exposition and takes its sweet time getting to the action. So that's why it's stated that in this story, Liu Cixin novels tend to be heavy on exposition, and then by the time you get to any kind of action, it's usually the middle of the novel. So at the very beginning of this novel, you actually witness how the ball lightning goes right through the house and incinerates Chen's parents. Then you've got 200 pages of just Chen studying lightning, and then Chen figuring out all of these different theories on how lightning works. And so if you're a scientist and you're fascinated by all this scientific stuff, then you'll love this book. But for someone who's not into science like me, it was really slow going and almost so boring. It was almost as if after the page 12, which is where the parents got incinerated, then it's not until page 245 that any kind of action takes place. And so the exposition begins by introducing the main characters, particularly Chen, the protagonist, and establishing the setting. The readers are introduced to the concept of ball lightning and its mysterious nature. For a Western reader, it's too heavy on the exposition. So if you're going to do the movie version, you're going to have to move up the action and have a lot more plot than what's in this book. Then the triggering event, obviously, is when Chen witnesses his parents' death at the very beginning of the book. This triggering event sets Chen on a path of obsession and a desire to understand and control ball lightning. And then the triggering event happens early in the novel when he watches his parents turn into ash. Rising action. The rising action involves Chen's journey through scientific education and his pursuit of knowledge about ball lightning. He becomes involved in research and encounters various challenges and setbacks along the way. Most of the novel, Rising Action, is mostly boring exposition on Chen's quest to learn more about lightning, where Liu describes every phase of research, which makes the story move so slowly. Then suddenly, on page 245, the action starts, and the rest of the novel moves quickly. It is on page 245, that's when a whole bunch of people get kidnapped. Okay, so here, it is at the beginning of the novel when Chen's parents become incinerated, and then you have to wait until page 245 to get into the action of the story. This novel takes about 200 pages of just exposition, which is typical of a Liu Cixin novel. So here is a ball lightning. The climax of the story occurs when Chen and his research team successfully develop a method to control ball lightning, leading to the potential weaponization of this power. In other words, they're able to create a lightning gun. Think of Star Trek with its the gun that shoots the laser out. And so that's what they're able to shoot out, balls of lightning from a gun. And then these balls of lightning are able to penetrate solid objects and incinerate anything inside. And so that's the climax, is the weaponization of ball lightning into a weapon of defense for the nation, but also a weapon of destruction for the enemies. The falling action of the story deals with the consequences of the climax. Chen grapples with the moral implications of having developed such a powerful, destructive weapon, and Chen ponders the potential devastation that would result from the development and weaponization of ball lightning, similar to how Oppenheimer used to ponder how destructive creating the nuclear bomb was during World War II, the Manhattan Project. And so here, Chen, in this story, instead of Oppenheimer pondering the destructiveness of the nuclear bomb, you have Chen pondering his creation of weaponizing lightning. And so this involves the ethical implications of, should we take forces of nature and use it to create weapons of mass destruction? Shouldn't we instead be focusing our energy on creating technology that's for the good of mankind, such as creating sustainable energy that could help generate electricity, using the electricity from lightning to generate electricity, rather than using that electricity to incinerate people. And so this novel deals with the moral implications of how man develops technology. Then what happens if you do develop that technology and then that technology goes out of control? Can you imagine having nuclear bombs and you cannot control the nuclear bombs and then they all go off? It would annihilate the entire planet. So here, the falling action is Chen grappling with the implications of what would happen, the consequences of what would happen if he and the scientists were not able to fully control the usage of the electron ball lightning ray gun, which is what it got called. The resolution brings the story to a close, providing some form of conclusion and to the conflicts and questions raised throughout the narrative. The fate of ball lightning and its potential use as a weapon is revealed, and the character arcs are brought to a resolution. So throughout the story, there may be subplots and additional character arcs that contribute to the overall narrative structure. The themes mentioned above intertwine with the story structure, adding depth and complexity to the plot. Overall, Ball Lightning follows a traditional narrative structure while exploring scientific concepts, ethical dilemmas, and the human experience in a science fiction concept. What makes Ball Lightning so fascinating and so frightening at the same time is its instability, unpredictability, high voltage, and its ability to pass through solid walls, even titanium, which is why the characters in this novel was so interested in spending a lot of money making a ball lightning gun capable of going through the titanium walls, and then it can fry, and then the magnetic field within the ball lightning can then short circuit the enemy's computer circuits. So imagine being able to shoot your ball of lightning and then your enemy's computer circuits fry out, and then the enemy's not able to operate their weapon, and therefore leaving the enemy helpless. So that's why they, in this novel, Chen and his team try to develop such a weapon. So the novel raises a number of questions about the nature of science and technology. Is science a force for good or a force for evil? How can we ensure that the technology we invent is used for the benefit of humanity and not for its destruction? Is it ethical to weaponize nature in this way? The novel also explores the power of obsession. Chen's obsession with ball lightning drives him to achieve great things, but it also leads him to make dangerous choices. Finally, the novel shows the importance of family and love. Chen's family provides him with the love and support he needs to overcome his grief and achieve his goals. Ball Lightning is a novel that talks about the dangers of technology, when what humans invent get out of control. In this novel, the scientists create their gun, but then at some point they lose control of their ball lightning weapon and accidentally incinerate and turn into ashes innocent children who were being held hostage by terrorists. In other words, what happened was there was a hostage situation. Then the military decided to utilize the ball lightning weapon in order to take out the terrorists in order to save the children. So what they did was they shot when they targeted the terrorists. They didn't have full control over the ball lightning themselves. So instead of the ball lightning only incinerating the terrorists, the ball lightning also incinerated the hostages as well. So they didn't have full control over their weapon. And so therefore the people they were supposed to save, the children, were incinerated by the ball lightning. And so what happens when the technology that you create accidentally goes out of control? So hence the theme of this video, technology, what happens when technology goes awry? And so what makes the story spooky? And then years later, whenever anybody would pass by that particular spot where the children was incinerated, you could still hear the children's voices, as if they existed, as if they were still alive, even though the bodies were incinerated into ashes. Which brings up the question, do the magnetic fields somehow keep the children or the spirits alive in another dimension? Hence, therefore, do the magnetic fields that the lightning produce open a door to other dimensions or open the door to time travel? So those are the other possibilities that this unstable element could be, if controlled, could allow man to travel through time or travel to other dimensions, like a multiverse. So then when they were also doing experiments with the gun, before they did it on people, same thing, they shot a lot of goats and sheep and then with the gun in order to experiment with it. And then long after they incinerated the goat and sheep to ashes, then you could hear the bleating of the sheep whenever you walk by that barn. And it was so spooky because there were you would hear the voices, but there's nobody there. And so the characters all got real spooked. So there's that possibility that this ball lightning is so unstable that it opens up doors to other dimensions. It rips the fabric of time and space in such a way. And so what makes this story spooky is if you walk by the exact location where the children or the animals are incinerated, you can still hear the bleeping of the sheep or the high shrill voices of the children, which begs the question, are they still alive in another universe? Even though their bodies were turned to ashes in this universe, how can they be alive if their bodies have been incinerated? Are their spirits forever left in limbo? Did the lightning gun weapon open a door to another dimension or open the door to a parallel universe? So these are all the intriguing questions. And this is what happens when man tries to play God, and he delves into things he doesn't know enough of, which can have catastrophic consequences. So the action of the story is pretty slow. In my opinion, it has way too much exposition and description and needs a lot more action, and needs to be much more action-packed if you're going to make a movie out of it. And so, but if you're into the science and you really like the science end of it, then Liu Cixin, he does just like in Three Body Problem, he puts a lot of space travel science into it. And so the scientific exposition is very long and detailed. And so if you like science, you will love this book. If you like an action-packed story, you might want to skip this book, as this is more of a science book than an action-packed story. Here are some additional thoughts on the themes of ball lightning, the nature of science and technology. So ball lightning explores the idea that science and technology are tools that can be used for good or for evil. Chen's work on ball lightning could be used to create a powerful weapon, but it could also be used to develop new technologies that can improve the lives of millions of people. The novel suggests that it is up to humanity to decide how humanity will use and develop its science and technology responsibly, ethically, or unethically. And it also talks about the power of an obsession. Chen's obsession with ball lightning is both a blessing and a curse, and it also makes him reckless and dangerous. The novel suggests that obsession can be a powerful force, but it can also not be very wise. Why is Chen so obsessed with the lightning ball that killed his parents? What is the cost of this obsession when you cannot let go of the past and you spend your whole life reliving the same traumatic event? Ball lightning shows how dangerous it can be to weaponize science. Chen's work on ball lightning could create a weapon that is so powerful that it could destroy the world. The novel suggests that we must be careful how we use science and that we must never forget the potential dangers of weaponizing technology. Ball lightning also highlights the potential dangers of weaponizing scientific discoveries. As the story unfolds, the characters grapple with the ethical implications of their research and the potential consequences of harnessing ball lightning as a destructive weapon. Ball lightning also shows the importance of family and love. Chen's family provides him with the support he needs to overcome his grief and to achieve his goals. And one of the strange things about this novel is that when Chen goes back to the place exactly where his parents died, he can actually see and hear his parents as if they were still alive and still talking with him. And it's hard to tell if what he's seeing are memories of his parents or he's actually seeing his parents alive in another dimension. So the novel suggests that, and so that's why, and he's able to still talk with his father even though the father is long dead and was incinerated. And so the novel suggests that family and love are the most important things in life. And Chen spends his entire life trying to figure out how the ball lightning killed his parents. This lifelong quest to solve this mystery shows Chen's devotion and filial piety to his parents, which is a crucial cultural trait in Confucianism, because in Chinese culture, it is very, very respectful to respect your elders and to always think about your family. And so Chen is a very devoted son who spends his whole life trying to figure out what killed his parents, and he's doing it in order to be devoted, in memory, devotion to his parents. Thus, Chinese science fiction allows the Chinese cultural tradition of family piety and respect for elders, as Chen honors the memory of his parents by trying to solve the mystery of how ball lightning works and how to use it for the good of humanity. Here you have the fragility of human existence. The novel touches upon the fragility of human life and the vulnerability of civilization in the face of powerful natural forces. Ball lightning, with its unpredictable and destructive nature, serves as a metaphor for the unpredictable and potentially catastrophic events that can disrupt human existence. In Chinese society, nothing is worse than something that is not stable. The Chinese value stability and harmony. So the ball lightning serves as a dramatic element for the Chinese because of the unpredictability and instability of ball lightning. Therefore, for Chinese readers, just reading about the intricate details of why ball lightning is unstable, right down to the very scientific detail, excites the Chinese reader, since instability serves as conflict and drama for a Chinese reader whose very culture cherishes stability. And so Chen seeks to control ball lightning to lessen its instability in Chinese culture. Because when you are in control of something, you can make that element stable and thus rid that element of its danger. And so what happens when technology, but then what happens is that Chen tries to keep control. He tries to make many different lightning balls within his lab, but it's the lightning ball is so unstable that they never quite are able to completely control the lightning ball. And here are some pictures from European, in which the lightning ball comes, and just as it comes, sometimes it will just float around, and it would just randomly, it would incinerate someone's book or incinerate a a wine bottle and then leave everybody else okay. Or it would incinerate the people and leave the furniture okay. And so it's very randomness is what makes the conflict for the Chinese reader, because in Chinese society, it's all about harmony and stability. The yin is the light. Did I do that wrong yet? Yang is the light and yin is the darkness. And in Chinese philosophy, the yin and the yang exist in harmony. And if you disrupt that harmony with the ball lightning, that then for the Chinese reader, that creates conflict. Whereas for the Western reader is when some action conflicts, when there's a conflicting action, like man versus nature, man versus self, or man versus man. So for Westerners, that's what causes conflict. So human resilience and adaptability. In the face of extraordinary circumstances and the unknown, the characters in Ball Lightning exhibit resilience and adaptability. They confront scientific mysteries, personal losses, and ethical dilemmas, and strive to find meaning and solutions in a complex and ever-changing world. They grapple with the ethical implications of their research, and they ask themselves questions such as, is it ethical to create a lightning gun? Is it ethical to use the energy of the lightning ball as a weapon of mass destruction? When people are vaporized by the lightning gun, what happens to them? Are they really dead? Is it ethical to vaporize people in this way if they do not really die and their spirits are held in limbo in some interdimensional rift? So the consequences of science, so because the novel raises questions about the consequences of scientific progress and the potential ramifications of unchecked technological advancements, so this causes Chen to have second thoughts about pursuing ball lightning for weaponization. And in the end, he decides to use the ball lightning in order to generate clean energy for the good of society, and he decides to leave behind the weaponization. So that's how the novel resolves. But so this novel explores the ethical responsibility of scientists and of out of control technological growth, and the potential dangers that arise when science is pursued without sufficient consideration for the broader implications. In this novel, the Chinese army tries to create a lightning ball gun that can fry the computer circuits of the enemy and kill the enemy without destroying the buildings or their surroundings. When they practiced using the lightning gun, they vaporized a lot of goats and sheep. Long after the goat and sheep had been vaporized by the lightning ball gun, you could still hear the bleeping and the dead sheep and the goats from another dimension when you walk by the area where the lightning gun vaporized them, which the characters said they found creepy. What if the enemy is still alive and can still come back to take a revenge? What if vaporizing the enemy does not completely kill them? Is it ethical to use or weaponize a natural phenomenon like lightning ball to destroy others? And in the end, they decided that it was not ethical to pursue lightning as a weapon, and they decided to drop the research. Ball Lightning delves into the exploration of alternate scientific theories and unconventional approaches to understanding natural phenomenon. It challenges conventional scientific thinking and invites readers to contemplate different perspectives and possibilities. The novel delves into the theme of human curiosity and the innate desire to understand the mysteries of the universe. The characters are driven by relentless curiosity that pushes them to explore and unravel the enigma of ball lightning, even in the face of danger and uncertainty. Ball Lightning examines the societal impact of scientific discoveries as the characters make breakthroughs in understanding how lightning works, and and also grappling with the implications of their findings and the potential effects on society, both positive and negative. The concept of time and its manipulation is an intriguing theme. The novel explores the possibility of bending and altering time through scientific means, raising questions about the nature of time and its implications for human existence. Can ball of lightning, if controlled, be used for time travel? Could it be used to travel at different dimensions? Could it be used to make energy for people to use? Could we use this magnetic energy to travel to the past or to the future? The novel also explores the tension between individual ambition and the greater good. The characters' personal desires and aspirations often come into conflict with the well-being of society, forcing them to make difficult choices and confront the consequences of their actions. Ball Lightning touches upon the concept of parallel universes and the existence of multiple realities. It explores the idea of different versions of oneself and the implications of interacting with alternate dimensions. If given a choice, would you want to travel to another dimension to meet yourself if you had made different decisions? The novel also contemplates the limitations of human knowledge and the boundaries of scientific understanding. It raises questions about whether there are phenomena that may forever remain beyond human comprehension, challenging the notion of unlimited progress and knowledge acquisition. Scientists struggle in understanding how lightning works and never fully successful in controlling their lightning gun. And so, is it possible for man to master all of science? Or are some mysteries meant to be unsolved? Is it safe for man to have unlimited progress, unchecked with no regulation? Should man be playing God? What are the dangers of humanity knowing too much and playing God? Think about Mary Shelley and Frankenstein. And so Ball of Lightning showcases Liu Cixin's ability to blend scientific concepts with intricate storytelling, taking readers on a thrilling exploration of a fascinating phenomenon and its implications for the future of science and technology. Here are several other science fiction stories that explore the theme of scientists inventing something dangerous to mankind, where the scientists lose control of their creations. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Considered a classic of science fiction, this novel tells the story of Victor Frankenstein, a scientist who creates a living creature through his experiments. He brings a living corpse, he brings a dead corpse back to life. That's what Victor Frankenstein did. However, the creature turns out to be dangerous and wreaks havoc on Victor's life, highlighting the consequences of meddling with life and trying to bring back the dead and playing God. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. Although not strictly science fiction, this novella delves into the consequences of scientific experimentation. Dr. Jekyll invents a potion that transforms him into the sinister Mr. Hyde, unleashing his dark and violent impulses. So this novel serves as an allegory for the dual nature of humanity and the dangers of unchecked scientific pursuits. And so all of these science fiction stories serve as cautionary tales, highlighting the potential dangers that can arise when scientists tamper with the natural order or invent something beyond their control. These stories reflect the ethical and moral dilemmas posed by scientific progress and reminds us to consider the consequences of our actions in the pursuit of knowledge and advancement. These science fiction stories also depict the consequences of scientists creating weapons or technologies that spiral out of control, endangering mankind. They serve as warnings about the responsibility that comes with scientific discovery and the need to consider the potential risks and ethical implications of our inventions. For example, in Star Trek, if you remember the Doomsday Machine in the original series, and so when Captain Kirk encounters a planet-eating machine, and so this machine was built by an ancient civilization that was built in order to defend the planet of this ancient civilization. But the ancient civilization is long dead, so now this planet-eating machine goes around and eats other people's planets and other people that had nothing to do with the original purpose of when this technology was built. So you have here an example of technology out of control and harming others. So here, the crew encounters a massive planet-destroying weapon that is on a destructive rampage across the galaxy. This planet destruction weapon, once upon a time, was used as a defense weapon for some long-dead ancient civilization. In this Star Trek episode, the humans who had created this planet destroyer are long dead, and then this planet destroyer tries to swallow up the Enterprise. And so in this episode, Captain Kirk has to destroy this machine before it destroys the Enterprise. And so this episode serves as a cautionary tale about the creation of superweapons and the potential consequences of such technology when it falls into the wrong hands. And so this is what happens when people create weapons that go out of control and end up killing everybody. And then also ship in a bottle. And so in many of the Next Generation episodes, they use the hologram. And the hologram is you're able to create out of light three-dimensional characters. And so one of Picard's favorite characters, holograms, was Dr. Moriarty. And so the holodeck, a virtual reality environment on the Enterprise, becomes the setting for a complex scheme created by the sentient hologram, Professor Moriarty. Now normally, whenever a Star Trek officer goes into the hologram, he or she would program the hologram to whatever they want. And the hologram is not sentient by itself. But what happens is that in this episode, the holograms go out of control. The technology goes out of control. And then the hologram, Dr. Moriarty, becomes sentient. Now normally the holograms are limited to just that space within that hologram room, and they cannot walk out of the room because they're not real, you see. But once Dr. Moriarty realized that he's real and he's sentient, he's able to walk out of the hologram room, and then he disrupts the entire running of the ship. So this is an example of the potential dangers of creating advanced artificial intelligence that can surpass its original program and become a potential threat. And so this is what we're talking about with ChatGPT and AI. What happens if AI runs amok? And what happens if AI becomes sentient and decides it wants to destroy humanity? And so this episode also talks about runaway technology that runs amok. What happens if the computers, holograms, AI that man builds becomes conscious or develops sentience? Would AI want to destroy mankind? Would the hologram want to leave the holodeck to lead its own life? So in this Star Trek episode, the hologram realizes that it is alive and that it is real. As a result, Dr. Moriarty doesn't just want to be programmed by every single person that walks into the holodeck. He wants to have his own life and have his own programming and make his own decisions. So eventually Picard creates a hologram program outside the holodeck for Dr. Moriarty to step into. And his whole world is inside a hologram disk that lies on Picard's desk. Then Picard asks the audience, are we on Star Trek and we on the Earth also living in a hologram disk lying on somebody's desk? And you need to watch this Star Trek episode to understand that reference. Now getting back to the main topic of technology gone awry. So the scientists, in their experiments with the ray gun, going back to ball lightning, accidentally incinerated the children they were meant to save, as I mentioned before. Is it ethical for humanity to create weapons that can destroy mankind? In this age of AI, how do we control AI? How do we regulate AI? How do we control the speed and rate of development of technological development? That's why I do love science fiction stories, because it poses these what-if questions to the reader. And then this week, I was watching a movie called Restart Earth, and you can watch it on Tubi TV for free. And in this movie, scientists create a way to rapidly grow plants, but instead of having fast-growing plants, the plants turn into a monster, have a conscience, and just like Dr. Moriarty, become sentient, and then they decide they want to eat people. So instead of having fast-growing plants, that can help people, have more food, they end up with fast-growing plants that destroy entire cities and eat people, and leaving this little girl the only one alive. And so Restart Earth is set in the near future, where humans have developed a drug to combat desertification. In other words, the entire Earth was becoming too dry and too much of a desert. However, the drug had an unintended side effect. It awakened the plant's stress system and gave plants emotions. Another unintended side effect of the fast-growing drug is that the plants quickly became sentient and began to reproduce at an exponential rate, engulfing cities, attacking and consuming humans for food. And so a global task force is assembled to stop the plants from taking over Earth and eating all the humans on Earth. And the team includes a Chinese soldier, Yang Hao, and his daughter, Yuan Yuan. They must use their skills and ingenuity to survive in a world that has been overrun by plants. And so this movie explores the theme of hubris. Humans have tried to control nature, but they've only succeeded in creating a new threat. The plants are a reminder that nature is not to be trifled with. And this movie, Restart Earth, is a fast-paced action thriller. There are plenty of scenes of plants attacking humans, and the special effects are quite impressive. The movie is not without its flaws, but it is entertaining. And this time, Restart Earth, it's dubbed completely in English. But what I liked about it was it had Chinese heroes. So, it's so rare in American movies or in American science fiction, including Star Trek, to see a movie where all the heroes are all Chinese. So to me, it was kind of fun to see Chinese heroes. So representation does, even though this is a Chinese movie. So what was fun about this was that it was very, very action-packed, and it was very fun to see them trying to cross a bridge, and at the same time, the buildings are toppling in front of them, and all of these huge plants that look like snakes are trying to eat them. So here you have the consequences of what happens when technology goes awry. And so here are some key themes of the movie: the hubris of humans trying to control nature, the importance of teamwork and cooperation in the face of a common threat, and so the power of love and family to overcome even the most difficult challenges. So what would happen if man cannot control the technology it creates? What would happen if ChatGPT became sentient? And when you go to YouTube, you see many videos about the end of the world and about AI taking over the world. You see Elon Musk with an angry computer saying that computer would kill everybody, and then the computer looks angry, or the Android looks angry. Or you see a video in which someone had to automatically shut off a computer because it said it would kill everybody. So you see that Elon Musk warning the world that if we do not control AI production, and AI realizes that it's smarter, better, and faster than mankind, then it would, just like in iRobot, when the robot decided it is better than mankind becomes like a pest or an insect to be gotten rid of. And so how do we regulate the speed at which technology races? How do we rein in human curiosity? How do we rein in the competition between all the different countries, each of them trying to be the best in technology and not looking at the implications or consequences of AI technology? So what would happen if humans lose control over the technology they create? Would this out of control technology lead to human extinction? So in the novel Ball Lightning, scientists find themselves unable to fully control their ray gun, and that ends up causing the tragic deaths of innocent children. Similarly, in Frankenstein, the mad scientist resurrects Frankenstein, who then lives a solitary existence due to his inability to find companionship. And in the Chinese sci-fi thriller Restart Earth, scientists develop a drug intended to combat Earth's desertification by accelerating plant growth. However, their creation gives rise to a plant monster with an appetite for people and cities. These science fiction tales serve as cautionary tales, highlighting the dangers of creating technology that escapes our control and becomes a threat to our planet. Therefore, this is the last paragraph, I promise. So therefore, humanity should tread carefully when it comes to attempting to control nature or unleashing technology beyond its comprehension, as such actions may lead to catastrophic consequences, like developing a ball lightning ray gun that the military cannot control and ends up disrupting computer power for miles around because of the intense magnetic field generated by the ball lightning weapon, which is what happened in the book. History has shown that when humans tamper with the delicate balance of the natural world or venture into uncharted technological territories without sufficient understanding, disaster often follows. One chilling example is the haunting specter of nuclear explosion, which possesses the potential to unleash unimaginable destruction upon Earth. The devastating power of such an event can erase civilizations and render Earth uninhabitable. And so these cautionary tales serve as a stark reminder that humanity must exercise prudence and respect for the forces of nature, lest our hubris or pride invite disaster of our own making. So that's it for today's. And obviously, what I like about Star Trek is that they were able to harness great energy, but then able to use it wisely so as not to destroy Earth or any other civilization. And so I like the optimism of Star Trek. And there are many Star Trek stories whereby the computer takes over the planet. I remember another one. Captain Kirk goes to this planet, and every day at noon, the entire planet have these, all the inhabitants suddenly go into a zombie-like state because all their brains are networked to a central computer. And the central computer tells these people when to zonk out, and then when to be happy, when to eat, when to sleep. And so these people live in a zombie state of happiness. And so then they try to stick these mental implants into Spock and Kirk, who don't want the mental implants in them. They don't want to live to have AI control their every thought. And so that they have to destroy the computer. Once they did destroy the computer, then all the people wake up and find that they don't know how to live without the computer telling them what to do. So there you have the danger of too much AI and too much computer, in that people become complacent and dependent upon that technology, that they lose their ability to live their own lives and to be creative. So is that what's going to happen with AI, with ChatGPT? Will humans lose their ability to be creative? Will we become so lazy and dependent, just like in The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, where people can't even move around and they're like little children without having the computer telling them what to do? There are many, many science fiction stories like that about what would happen if humans became too dependent on machines, or if machines decide to take over the world and render humans extinct. So therein ends my video on we need to have more regulation on AI production. We need to be aware and grapple with the ethical implications of the technology that we are creating, and not create technology so fast that we're not aware of its consequences. We need to slow down and smell the roses when it comes to technology and AI. So that's my 2 cents on the whole ChatGPT thing. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me anytime, and I want all my students to become lifelong lovers of literature.